Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Hey, listen, I want to give it a couple of minutes before we start the show. I want to make sure I get a chance to like and share the show, put it out there. I would encourage you and ask you this morning to do the same thing. If you like this kind of content, please like and share it with your friends on Facebook. When you share the show, quite simply, more people see it. Good morning to you. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. On today's show, as you can tell from the cover art, among other things, Major League Baseball invites Negroes to the big house. We'll discuss that to kick things off. Also, the Cincinnati public school system has a new race policy. I'll tell you all the details. Plus, a smattering of topics that have to deal with people, politics, and pleasure. You know what it is. It's your morning destination for interesting conversation, powered by Sin Digital Media. And oh yeah, folks, we got a brand new sponsor, Black-owned business, Cincinnati-based. The link is in the description of today's show on Facebook and YouTube. Check them out. We are just a week away from Christmas. If you're trying to buy Christmas gifts, why not shop with Black-owned? I'll talk about it. You'll hear about the promo, and I'll talk more about it during the show. Don't go anywhere. Again, please like and in particular share today's show, and we'll get started in about 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
Taking just be. Don't take it. Taking just don't be. And live my life. Don't take it personal. I ain't lying. I ain't hiding. I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, taking your life for the ID. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. Taking just so deep and live my life. Don't take it personal. We just building. It's my season. Lay foundation. Make a name for generations. Please and make it. Then take a break or a little vacation and chasing blues away. Hey, hey. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning, or look like you always be working, Soak in the moments you live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, shaking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't ask me, 'cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check on me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. I'm in a place serene and pure and free. Hey,
this is the Nathan Ivey Show. Get ready to be engaged. Get ready to be informed. Get ready to be enraged by the man City Beat magazine called a talk radio rebel. And your host, now back to the show.
I'm Brian. I make fine jewelry and wearable art. I use the finest metals, stones, and gems to bring you unique, one-of-a-kind pieces, all available in my online store, imgbat.com. I design for men, women, and children. I use natural stones, and I create my own. My mission is to provide everyone high-quality pieces that fit your budget. Have money for diamonds, rubies, and gold? I got you covered. Bank account set up a certain way? I have high-grade synthetic alternatives. The point is, everybody should have access to nice things. I also have state-of-the-art jewelry cleaning equipment and 3D printing capabilities. After fighting the ugly conditions we've endured for so long, it's time to create something beautiful. Black-owned, Black-designed jewelry for everyone. IMGBAT, fine jewelry and wearable art. Listeners of the Nathan Ivey Show, you get 10% off. Just put in choppers in the discount code. And Patreons, follow up with Nathan and he'll tell you how to get 15% off.
Listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my told him it's nothing. In the discussion, all the feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost.
All right, this is where I come in. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Another beautiful day. Great to be alive and with you, ready to chop it up on all the topics, everything that's happening around the world. Nathan Ivey with you. Good morning. Come into the show. I think I need to turn those lights on. Good morning to you. Hey, listen, before we get started, I want to tell you about a really new, exciting new sponsor we have, IMGBAT. I want to tell you all about it. There is a link in today's description on Facebook and YouTube where if you are interested, you can go directly to their website and check it out. And they are offering a special discount to the Choppers coupon code, all caps Choppers. If you are interested, I know that Christmas is right around the corner. You might be looking for some unique things to buy people that are close to you, somebody that you love. And you know me, why not shop Black owned? Why not shop Black owned? So I want to tell you all about it. And of course, you heard the audio promo. We got a video promo as well. We'll play for you this morning within the first hour. So make sure you step around for that. I want to make sure that anyone who is interested understand the opportunity that's out there, and you can support this Black-owned business. And again, if we're going to build a Black Wall Street, then we're going to do it by supporting Black businesses one at a time. Again, IMGBAT is a new Black-owned fine jewelry and wearable art online store. It's based here in the city of Cincinnati, but ships everywhere. You can browse and purchase products again at imgbat.com. All pieces are one of a kind. Products sell quickly online, and inventory is constantly changing. So if you want to see the complete, body of work, you can follow IMGBAT. Again, that's IMGBAT on Instagram and Facebook. Listeners of this show, The Nathan Ivey Show, get a 10% discount on all purchases over $25 through the end of the year. Just put choppers, not choppers, but choppers, 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 as the coupon code. And if you're a Patreon, then you get 15% off. So I'll be posting this to my patrons for you, and you get a special discount, an additional 5% off on any purchases. Again, one-of-a-kind fine jewelry, Black-owned. There's a link in today's description. Check it out, and you'll find something, I'm sure, that you might like. And when you do, make sure you let me know all about it. All right, good morning to everybody. 513-873-7134. Major League Baseball invites Negroes to the big house. What does that mean? Well, this may or may not be on your radar screen, but in terms of like baseball fans and the culture of baseball, this is big news. This is big news. And how many people are aware of the Negro leagues? Like, there were completely 100% black baseball leagues that predate or should I say coincide with the evolution of Major League Baseball. But many years ago, Major League Baseball did some whack-ish and basically kicked them out the big house. Well, on the anniversary, they have decided to change their ways, and they are now going to include all of the Negro League records into the annals of Major League Baseball. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, that means that, and again, I don't know, I'm not like super into and know all of the details of all of the stats. But what that means is like some of the all-time greats in baseball from the Negro leagues are now going to get their just due and their just recognition. For years and years and years, people would call out people like Babe Ruth saying, like, how's he the home run king? Where what predated him, or should I say even his contemporaries in the Negro leagues, they had even more, if not just as many home runs. So, inside the annals of baseball, that's been a long time frustration for black baseball supporters. I remember years ago, it was fashionable, within my generation to start purchasing a whole lot of Negro League sort of paraphernalia, jerseys, things like that. I had jerseys and hats. All the stuff was matching. I might even have some stuff down in the basement. I just packed away for whatever reason. The grays, things like that. So, finally baseball is allowing Negroes to come to the big house. Long overdue. They should have did this ish a long time ago. But they've now designated the Negro leagues as a major league, meaning that those records will now be incorporated into the annals of Major League Baseball. What does that mean long term? Well, you might be a baseball fan. You tell me. 513-873-7134. I want to hit on that. I got a few more flows on that this morning. If you live in the Cincinnati public school district area, you should know this. This is something that matters to you. CPS has a race policy now. Did you know that? Yes, an anti-racism policy. Yes, the Cincinnati Public School Board adopted an anti-racism policy. I'm sure that all of them will be running on this next year because, well, not all of them, but the school board members that need to run for re-election next year, I'm sure they're going to bring this up. This is what we did, right? I'm sure. Get ready for it. Also, CPS is making plans to return to blended learning. Yeah. The date it could be as early as February 2nd, as I understand what I read within the last 24 hours. Yeah, had a big meeting on Wednesday. That was last night. Today is Thursday, so we're talking about it. Yeah, you ready for that? Do you think the kids should return back to school to blended learning anytime this year? We'll see. I want to get your thoughts on it. But CPS, the board, has adopted an anti-racism policy. Remember, we spoke with Mike Morosky, who is a white male Democrat, I believe, and member of the school board. He talked about this many, many months ago. We knew this was going to be happening. Policy 2256 was unanimously passed. It's now the official policy of the Cincinnati Public Schools. They say they reject all forms of racism as destructive to the district's mission, vision, values, and goals. I mean, I'll say it again. I've heard some straight up horror stories from parents that I think, race is a factor in. I think race is a factor. I've heard from parents who felt as if they were straight up dealing with some racist ish. Now, whether it be racist teachers or racist administrators, how is the anti-racism policy going to deal with that? Well, we'll deconstruct it this morning and get your thoughts on it. 513-873-7134. The policy expresses the district will embrace racial diversity and actively eliminate practices that perpetuate racial disparity among students. The board committed to annual self-evaluation, training, and professional development in order to build a culture of inclusion which is free of racism. That's a lofty goal. I mean, is it possible to have a culture that's free of racism? I mean, it's a lofty goal. I mean, that, in my opinion, that should be their goal. Is it possible within our lifetime? Hell no. Come on now. The policy also detailed directives that will be put into place to dismantle the individual and systematic racism that exists within the district. The individual and systematic racism that exists within the district. So think about this, family. Think about what's happening. So statewide, and this was an effort that was led by primarily, from what I saw, the Democrats. They declared that racism was a public health crisis. County-wide, in terms of Hamilton County, and again, this was an effort that was largely championed by Democrats. Remember, you had the Republican candidates that was making jokes about it, like, what are you trying to say there? Everybody's racist. Remember Andy Black and his ridiculous answer? What are you trying to say, Alicia Reese, that everybody's racist? I don't understand it. Oh, okay. Okay, Andy. Andy from Indian Hill. That was hilarious. Oh, man. Here in the city of Cincinnati, again, an effort largely led by the Democrats. They declared racism as a public health crisis as well. And they started this new racial equity task force, which appears to have his issues. We talked to one brother that's on the task force. He didn't even know he was on the task force. He's like, oh, I'm on the task force? Really? Remember Brother David Lynch? He was like, yeah, I guess I am on the task force. You're not a good way to start, not a good look. The policy also detailed, now you have CPS and the board to have a new anti-racism policy. So, this year, 2020, and the social unrest that we saw, in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, it looks like it's having some type of impact. What I would say to the people is it's up to us to make sure we carry that even further and push the people in a position of leadership and legislative power to deliver what we want. I mean, are these just symbolic gestures? Maybe so. In some cases, maybe some more than others. But, I mean, if they're going to open the door like this, it's up to us to kick it in. The policy also details directives that will be put in place to dismantle the individual and systematic racism that exists within the district. The CPS anti-racism vision statement will be posted in all district buildings. Okay, I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm not sure what that means. Have you seen it? Oh, man, it's readily available. If not, I'm going to go through some of the details because I have two children that attend CPS, two brown babies. And I think that, this is important. And what I'll be looking for, and because I've already gone through it, but, it'll be interesting to see what this means in terms of empowering parents, because parents, of course, are the number one advocates for their children. And it'll be the parents that'll be dealing with that racism from teachers and administrators. Maybe they just need training or whatever on a regular basis. I'm going to post a link for you so you can check it out for yourself. This particular link is from wvxu.org. Hold on, I'm going to post this for you so you can, if you haven't already seen it, you can check it out for yourself. I think it's important. You might want to do it now. You can do it later. Whenever you feel like you want to do it, I want to make sure you have, the information that you need so that, you can speak intelligently about what's going on and know what's going on. Like I said, I've talked to parents, horror stories. I've heard stuff that you wouldn't even believe. You wouldn't even believe it. Unbelievable stuff that in terms of the actions that I've heard from teachers and administrators, it's just like, really? You can keep a job? Where do you do that at? But that's the way the system's been set up. To which degree is this new CPS anti-racism policy going to address it? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Carolyn Jones, Ryan Messer, Melanie Bass, Eve Bolton, Pamela Bowers, Ben Lindy. Where's Ben at? I sent a message to Ben to try to get him on the show. I got no response whatsoever. When he was running for school board, he was popping on the show every time. What's up with that? And Mike Morawski, shout out to Mike Morawski, and shout out to Pam, shout out to Carolyn, shout out to Ryan, shout out to everybody, quite honestly. Let me dig into this a little bit because you have to go through it all yourself and really kind of figure out what you think it is. And I saw that Mike Morawski on his Twitter page said that there's a lot more work to do. And I want to get him on the show. I'm going to reach out to him today to see if he can come on the show, hopefully soon, to talk about what that is. And then the role that we as parents and citizens can play in closing that gap. Quite interesting. I mean, I appreciate the effort. I do. But I also want to see efforts that actually, are going to mean something. The board shall direct the superintendent, treasurer, general counsel, and internal auditor to address systematic racism as follows. Develop and conduct an annual racial disparities assessment and audit to identify processes and practices that cause inequitable outcomes based on race. Direct the district's curriculum department and curriculum councils to review current curricula and create new curricula and authentic sequencing cognizant of the district's anti-racism commitments. I think I know what that means. Direct the school instructional and counseling leaders to create equal access and equitable support for students interested in or qualified for advanced coursework regardless of their homeschool assignment of choice. Identify the needed financial and human resources to achieve the goals of the board's anti-racism policy and designate a cross-functional staff person to serve as the district's diversity, equity, and inclusion officer. Sounds like that's going to be a new job. Direct the district's student services, counseling, and talent development departments to assess and adjust practices that pertain to positive school site culture and individual behavior in order to address racial disparities in student discipline, staff professionalism, and student special needs identification. It's a lot. To embed within existing employee discipline processes the capacity to address racist and race-based misconduct by authorizing appropriately trained supervisors to hold members of the school community accountable. Okay. All board and district staff shall be trained in this anti-racism policy. Okay. Hiring practice. The district shall include in its hiring practices and systems the opportunity to share information with applicants regarding the district's anti-racism stance. Okay, I think I got it. To ensure consistency in student discipline, each school shall collect and report data on all disciplinary actions. Schools shall review data regularly with the goal of reducing racial discipline disparities and reducing severity of corrective action by race. Okay, I got that. I'm hearing a lot of big sort of general kind of things, and the devil's always in the details. But I think I understand. When it is determined that a student, teacher, or staff member has committed a racist act, the person will be provided the opportunity to learn about the impact of their actions or others through such practices as restorative practices, mediation, role play, or other explicit policies or training resources. Student, teacher, or staff member. Because I don't look at students the same as I look at teachers and staff members. I mean, teachers and staff members work for the district. Students are the students. I have to come back to that one. That seems a little, I need more clarification on that. But again, I just posted a link and you can check it out for yourself and tell me what you think if you are a CPS parent. Just kind of read through it. It's only 4 pages, so it's not a whole lot there. Does that address some of the things that I've experienced personally and some of the things that I've heard, anecdotal, but heard from other parents and concerns? No, it doesn't. But again, there's a lot of gray areas there and sweeping generalities in which it could, but we need to whittle it down a little bit. That's why I need the school board members themselves to give me their thoughts on what they mean by this and where they want to see this go. That's what I think. But what do you think? 513-873-7134 as we get started this morning. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Again, go ahead and hit me with a like. Hit me with a share. I appreciate it in advance. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan. What's up, man? It's Tony.
What up, Tony? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, man. Hey, I'm on taking a break here from work. I usually catch you after the live show. So, and I was really into yesterday's show. So I don't know if you mind me hitting a couple of those points that you talked about yesterday.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, the first thing you was talking about yesterday, you was talking about that super spreader up in Mount Healthy. I am a resident of Mount Healthy. So when I heard about it from my neighbor. We were talking, to each other from our garages, our driveways now. He was telling me about it. It was just like really? See, that's why we have to talk, house to house now. We can't kick in each other's patio because these fools are still, they still going about spreading this. And Mount Healthy has been one of the one of the top cases of areas, hard hit areas with COVID for a while in the city. The Mount Healthy, Forest Park area. It's because of these fools doing stuff like that. So it just makes them, us residents, we're just like, oh, here we go. This is why this ain't gonna end, even with a vaccine. So that was all I had to say about that. Because when I heard about it, I was just like, me and my wife just shook our head, like, see, this is why we can't go nowhere. But also, you was talking about Sasha Obama. And her, taking picture and I really didn't see like the big deal because you had somebody on YouTube mention about the Bush girls. And I remember those twins. They were buck wild when they were underage. I mean, they were like getting photographed in bars and with smoking cigarettes, drinking and stuff like that. And the Secret Service, they were just like, oh man, these two, I mean, they were a handful. Yeah. So when you have a picture of her, you got a lot of people don't think about it. Like she's a president's daughter. So it ain't like she's just kicking it out and about anywhere. Plus she's the, first black president's daughter. So if she ain't got Secret Service, I'm sure there's some personal security with her. So they're probably just, rolling their eyes like, kids today. No big deal. They probably had their kids doing it too. So really, it wasn't that big a deal. But, like you said, that's Black Twitter. And the last thing, the Christmas thing, that was the one that really set things off yesterday. The Santa myth. And I tell you, man, I was originally, I was all about it. I played that role, with my daughter and stuff. I went all out, made cookies, and while I'm putting stuff together in the middle of the night, I'm eating the cookies and leaving a little bit of crumb, all that kind of foolishness. And then one day, my sister's kids broke it down to her about the truth, and she was just devastated, like her whole world ended. you know, and they were just telling her like, yeah, that's, you know, that ain't really what it is. He ain't real. And she came to me and was like, Dad, tell them they ain't real. And man, that moment, I could have ended it right there. I could have just put a pin in it and been like, yeah, man, that's just made up. But I punked out. And I went ahead and was like, oh, they don't know what they talking about and this and that. You know, and the two kids, they looked at my dad. They gave her that look like Bunk did in the Wire, that Bunk face. Like this nigga out here. That's how they looked at her, like, like this nigga ain't woke. And I felt bad, man. I felt like, oh man, I just lied to my kid. And so I was just like, look, you know, and at the time it was just her. So I'm like, man, if I ever have another kid, man, I ain't never gonna be that lie. Well, 19 years later, got my boy. And from the rip, no, there ain't no Santa Claus, man. You know, so but I tell them not to blow it, not to blow it up for any other kids. But when another little kid is on that Santa Claus mess, he give them that bunk look like, man, this nigga out here. You know, so I encourage people, man, don't even start that myth, man. I mean, it's garbage. You know, you can still enjoy the holidays. I mean, my kid know I'm the one that make it happen. I want them to know I make it happen because I'm the one paying for everything. You know, so I just wanted to chime in. You know, I always catch things on the later end and stuff, and I'm gonna catch this broadcast on the later end too. But I'll holler at you, brother.
Hey, thanks for the call, man. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.
That's hilarious, man. Thank you for the story. I appreciate it. It need to be said. Yeah, we did have a lot of fun yesterday. Oh, I'm not done with the Santa Claus stuff. I'm going to keep saying this all the way up. So let me give you the schedule here. I'll be with you. I'm planning to be with you all the way up until a week from today. So today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing shows. Day before Christmas, I'll be here. Christmas Day, I'm chilling unless something changes. There's like some breaking news or something that we got to talk about. I'm going to go live. But until then, I'm going to chill. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be back with you on Monday, the 28th. So you're going to hear me talk about Santa every fucking day. I'm so glad Tony called in because we had some people calling in from a different universe yesterday. I don't know where they live at. Come on, son. We believe in Santa Claus in our house and you 45, 50 years old. I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't have to do it. Stop today. And again, this is, I'm liberating you. I know it's hard to believe it to all those Santa Claus believers out there, but I'm liberating you. I'm trying to liberate you from the lies you've been telling your children. They don't need it. And blame Tony for this, because I was on some other stuff. I was talking about CPS, but he triggered me on this. Appreciate that, man. I am liberating you. Your kids don't care. Man, you could put from the devil, literally. You could wrap up a bunch of gifts and then like on the gift card, it reads from the devil. And guess what? Your kids don't care. They're just going to be just as happy. You wrap up that PlayStation 5 and on the gift card, on the card, it reads from the devil. Man, they're going to say, thank you, devil. Oh, we love the devil. The kids don't care. They do not care where it comes from at all. I know some of y'all like, oh, this nigga, I don't want to hear this. It's just harmless. Okay. And then when your kids lie to you and say, oh, it's harmless, you're going to want to get all mad about it. Stop the madness. Stop the lies. Stop the lies. Stop the cultural appropriation. At the very least, if you black, you better not be talking about no goddamn white Santa. Because you talking about you ain't coming to the barbecue with no white Santa. I'm sorry. That's right up there with Tarzan and the belief that intellectually black people are inferior to white folks. It's all on the same family tree. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm happy to tell you this because I'm liberating you. Be free this Christmas holiday. And then you're going to be mad when your kids go to school and other kids tell your kids the truth. You can't be mad at no kids. That's why we like children. One of the most refreshing things about children is they shoot straight from the hip. They just tell you how they feel. No filter. That's a good thing. You can't be mad at the kids. You got to be mad at yourself. So all you parents out there, if you don't tell your kids the truth about Santa, and then your kids come home with their feelings hurt, don't project it. Deal with it. That's your fault. You set them up for failure. You know that elementary school is rough. You know this school is rough. Why would you send your kids into the jungles, the social jungle called school, with the knowledge that there's a damn Santa Claus? You is setting them up for ridicule, for failure. They're going to get talked about. And then some of y'all going to get mad at the wrong persons. You're going to get mad at everybody else when you should be mad at yourself. Give yourself the gift of the truth this Christmas season. You can still have your turkey and you can watch your Rudolph the red-nosed, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. What the hell? You can still watch your Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I ain't seen that movie in years, but you can watch the abominable snowman. Whatever you like, you can still do it. Just tell these kids the truth. Because my boy, he might do it. Because he be like, what? Dad, that's not real. We be in virtual learning. The microphone be off and somehow Santa comes up. You're like, Dad, we both know that's not real. And it's like a cool thing because it's like an inside joke and we're both on the inside. Put your kids on the inside. Put them in the loop. I'll leave it like that. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yo, good morning.
Good morning. Nathan, it's Kev on the cell.
Oh, what up, Kev? What up, man? Good morning.
Trying to make it. I got a little bit of feedback on my end. How am I sounding?
You sound good.
Am I clear?
You sound clear, yes.
All right, good. All right, fantastic. So look, I disagree with you, bruh. It is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. My daughter, we called her. There was the Santa, blah blah blah, all of that. But we also told them, Daddy gets most of these gifts. You get some from Santa Claus. So as she got older, her friends were like, there ain't no Santa Claus. And she was like, hold on. So she came to me one day and she said, hey, Daddy, my friend said there ain't no Santa Claus. And I said, well, what do you think? She was like, man, I'm getting gifts. She's like, let these people do whatever they gonna do. Let me have my fantasies, okay? So she knew. She knew. She said she knew. She told me she knew. But she was like, man, I'm getting two lists of gifts. We ain't gonna rock the boat. I tell her, do what you want to do in your household, man. And it is harmless. There should be a little bit of fun and frivolity in the season of giving. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't got to be so serious. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of fantasy. And if you let your child, if you allow your child, I should say, to take fantasy too far, it don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's Dungeons and Dragons or whatever it is, then it's going to be a problem regardless. Now, can my child come and tell me some lies and talk about, well, you told me there was a Santa Claus? Yeah, she can. But you're going to be on the punishment forever. And if you're young enough, I bet you ain't going to do it but once. And after that, you're going to know better. I set the rules. We set the rules at the house. That's all there is to it. So, nah, man, let kids have their little fantasy moment. Why we got to stomp on folks' little dreams? It's all good. Just make sure there's balance. So I told them the truth. I work really hard for everything that you get. Santa brings you like one of them gifts in the corner. Ask Santa for the one that's really expensive. That way I can blame Santa when I can't afford it. What do you think, Nathan, man?
We agree to disagree on the whole Santa thing. But I see you working. She playing you and you playing her.
She was playing me, but I like it. It's cool. You can play me if I know it. It's all good. I'm not mad at you. If you know the rules and you play by the rules, I ain't got no problem with it. Now, if you change the rules, right? When you change the rules, then it becomes a problem. If you change the rules and all of a sudden it's, well, Santa said I ain't had to do my homework. Oh, yeah, well, I just beat Santa. Me and Santa came to blows outside. and he came back with a new report for you.
Me and Santa came to blows outside. Damn.
Yeah, me and Santa we just got into it, and trust me, Santa ain't walking right now. He got a limp. He got a heavy limp. But like I said, man, there's nothing wrong with having some fun. Quick little anecdote this morning. I walked up to this young man, and he was pouring him a coffee, and I was going to get mine, and he looked at me kind of like serious, whatever. And I said, man, it's about to be a good day, ain't it? And he looked at me and he was like, huh? And I was like, man, I don't know about you, but that coffee, boy, that changed my life sometimes. It's going to be a good day. And I started smiling, man. He started smiling, man. And I realized that a lot of what's happening out here is we taking things too serious, man. Life ain't that serious. It's short. Have fun. But make sure that you keep everything in its proper perspective, man. Other than that, though, you said, I agree. It is what it is. Have fun. Be you. Do what you do. Right? But you get to write your own rules. Some of this stuff, you get to write your own rules, man. And by the way, Santa's black. Yeah, he's a brother. Sure is. And he only stays in the North Pole at Christmas. The rest of the time, he's smart. And he's a snowbird, and he goes to Florida. I appreciate you, Nathan. On every station, across the nation.
Take it easy, brother. Y'all in this Santa Claus, man. Y'all in this Santa Claus. Will y'all please stop? Ain't nothing wrong with a little harmless lie. Okay. Sounds good till you getting lied to. Then it's a problem. Why you had to lie to me? But ultimately, do you. I don't pay no bills. It's your house. Do you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts. Hopefully you don't want to talk about Santa this morning, do you? My battery is 100% ready to go this morning. Also want to give you heads up today at 1 p.m. Ask Ashley. She got a couple of juicy questions. The juice. Ooh, the heat is turning up. The questions is coming in. The juice is real. You won't believe. Just make sure you check it out at 1 p.m. If you can't because you're working or whatever, you forget. Circle back around. I'll remind you on Friday morning. Check it out. It's midday juice today at 1 p.m. I mean, it's real. It's real. It's a brother dealing with some real issues out here. Some real issues with his wifey. It's a very mature question. We'll see. We'll see what Ashley has to say. That's later on today at 1 p.m. Coming your way from CDM's Facebook page. All right, good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning, I'm going to jump straight inside the chop shop and say, what's up? Good things cooking. Ray writes here. Glad you're here, Ray. Sharp writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Good morning to you, Sharp. Tracy writes, hi. She writes, nice song. Ray writes, okay. Cassandra writes, hey, Choppers. Tell someone you love them today. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. You so right about that, Ray. I'm a big believer in that, though. I give people around me, I'm a touchy-feely kind of dad. So I like it when my kids are there and I can see them and touch them and hug them. And so now they're just like me. They all over daddy and mommy. Even when we doing stuff. Like I'm trying to do a show, you see my son come up and get right on the shoulder. That's because that's just how it is. And I'll say it again. You can see me now. Your boy was almost gone. I was almost out of here. February 2nd. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. Day of the Super Bowl. Every day is a blessing, man. Tanika writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Crystal Williams writes, good morning. God writes, good day, Choppers. Good morning to you. Crystal writes, Ray, exactly. My uncle passed away yesterday. What? I'm sorry to hear that. But I hadn't spoke to him in years because of how his brothers did my dad when he passed away. But he did nothing wrong. He was guilty by association, and I regret it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Crystal. Man, somebody passes away in the family. It's all the stuff that was already there just comes bubbling up. It gets magnified. And, you're only human, Crystal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to tell you. I don't know enough about the situation, but we human. We human. You know, we human. Put it simply like that. I put it simply like that. Mason Muller Rice, morning, Nate and Choppers. Pat Rice, good morning. Mike Jones Rice, good morning, Choppers. Mason Muller Rice, Nate, sound crazy as hell. I'm just saying. Tracy Rice, surely if the kids can get gifts from the devil, they can get gifts from Santa. You sound crazy. No, I don't sound crazy. I challenge you to try it. So you think I sound crazy? So let me back here. Let me back up. So what I said to you, and I've proven this. Okay. Kids don't care where the gifts come from. If you think that your kids care about whose name is on the gift, you're crazy. Kids don't care. They don't care if it's any names on the gift. You ain't got to put note from Santa, from mom, from. They don't give a damn. All they care about is opening up something and something is theirs. Period. That's all they care about. So my point in saying that is that I'm trying to relieve parents that have been lying to their children about Santa Claus the burden. Because what happens is it becomes like an expectation, right? Like I did it last year, I got to do it this year, I got to do it, got to keep. You don't. I'm trying to liberate you. You know what I'm saying? But you know how it is. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm telling you what I know. You could literally write on a Christmas gift from the devil, and your kids don't give a damn. They're going to rip it open. PS5. I got a PS5. Thank you, devil. They don't give a damn. You might care, but they don't care. You know what I'm saying? So no, you sound crazy. I'm speaking facts. Try it. Christmas next week. Try it. Try one or two things. Number one, don't put no name on the gift, Santa or what else, and see if your kids have a bad Santa, a bad Christmas. The Christmas gonna be just as popping based upon what they get. Kids is cutthroat. It's all about the end result. How they get there, they don't give a damn. You could put from Bigfoot. You could put from the Loch Ness Monster. And kids are going to open that package and love them gifts. It don't matter where it's from. Because that's all they care about is the gifts. It's the adults that care about the name and the whole Santa Claus thing. From my observation, adults care more about that stuff than the kids do. That's why you're lying about it and the kids aren't. Yeah. So let's get that straight. If you doubt what I'm saying, you do it. Christmas next Friday. You do it. Put Bigfoot, from Bigfoot. Put from Yeti. Put from the abdominal. Put from straight from Wakanda on there. Just put some old crazy off the wall stuff on there and think if the kids think any differently about what the gift is. They're gonna shock you. Not me. I already know. They're gonna rip it. PS5, thank you. And run away, plug that point. They're gonna plug that joint up. They don't give a damn where they got it from. Period. Period. Kids is about the end result. That's all they care about is, oh, I got the thing I always wanted. Thank you. And run bouncing to their room or wherever they play at, and they're gonna plug it in or whatever the toy or whatever it is. You got a son or daughter that wants a brand new phone. You get them a brand new phone for Christmas. They don't care what the name is on the wrapper. All they care about is I got a brand new phone for Christmas. Your son or daughter wanted some brand new retro Jordans, which is hitting the pockets, by the way. You go buy them some retro Jordans and put from what's the outlet? Put from Inspector Gadget on the side of it and see what happens. Oh, thank you, Inspector Gadget. Put them on. They happy. That's parents. That's you that's caught up with that. But kids don't care. Kids are much more mature than we give them credit for. That's what I've seen. But let's go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. The one and only. Top Squad 52. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I don't know if we could take two.
Mr. Ivey, before I start my call, I would like to send out a strong and vigorous apology to Cassandra, also known as the Queen of Wakanda. Let me hear you say that 3 times fast, Mr. Ivey. Cassandra, the Queen of Wakanda. Mr. Radio Guy, I bet you can't do it. But I
Well,
want to give an official apology to Cassandra. I actually made a video and I posted it on your timeline yesterday, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, Mr. Ivey. So, but anyway, let me hear you say it 3 times fast, Mr. Ivey.
was actually Queen of Cyber Wakanda. You know, she was running with that moniker.
You want to mess it up?
I didn't want to, man, but I like to be, you know, I don't want my brother out there, you know, looking wrong or whatever, saying the wrong thing. You already apologized for saying the wrong thing, so I just want to make sure you all the way good. But you know what?
Well,
that shows what kind of man you are, man, to apologize to Cassandra. I appreciate that for her.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. But I have a question to you related to this whole Christmas conversation. Now, Mr. Ivey, you say I can't hear you.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. You say that you don't believe in Santa because why? I'm not sure why. I mean, you always say you want to make sure everybody else is doing something, but when you explain to your kids about Christmas and you leave Santa out of it, what do you tell them about the rest of the holiday? Because they all kind of go together. Am I correct?
No, you're not correct. No, you're not. But in terms of what I tell my kids about Santa, you said, so what? Is this a real question, man? You're asking me, why don't I believe in something that's not true?
But Christmas is not true. Right?
No, wrong. You're wrong. I mean, for Christians,
like Kev on the cell. Shout out to Kev on the cell. Great call. He's saying it's like it's a fantasy kinda. Okay, it's a myth. The whole Saint Nick and the jolly old man and that whole thing. But the other part about the day, December 25th, and the whole giving of presents and that whole part of Christmas. Do you make that part of Christmas very clear? Because if you wrapping presents, you got Christmas lights, you sing a Christmas carol, in a sense, you are still celebrating Santa.
I understand your point. I really do. But I think what you're leaving out is for a lot of people who are Christians, they look at December 25th, even though we know it's not the day, as the birth of Christ.
Right.
Right. That's
most
the other thing.
Most people don't know that, Mr. Right. Most people know Christmas is Santa Claus, presents, and singing, and seeing family. Right, Mr. Ivey?
Yeah, I mean, it is whatever you want to make it out to be at the end of the day, as I can tell from some of these phone calls over the last couple of days. But, I mean, that's a very important part for people that look at themselves as Christian.
Right, because you kind of sound like, if you remember back in the day during the Gulf War, where people said they were, because they hated the President Bush, they would say they're against the war, but they support the troops. So you're against Santa, but you support Christmas. Right, mister?
That wouldn't be an accurate way of putting it. Let's put it this way. As it relates to religiosity and religion in general, I'm much more of a spiritual person. Okay.
Okay. So you support Christmas.
Well, I mean, I would have to say
Santa.
I would have to say yes and no. So I would say in practice. So I would say in practice, will my kids have gifts? Yeah, we participate in the ritual. In terms of like the religiosity of it and the Santa Claus and particular elements of it, absolutely not. And even in that, my kids know exactly how I feel about these practices and exactly where they stand in terms of how I look at them. So for instance, you know, my daughter's 15 now, and as I've taught her since she was a kid, she has to make her own decision about what religion she subscribes to and what she believes in. And I make it my duty to inform her and to educate her about the whole world of different belief systems out there. So she understands that there's a lot of different ways to worship. There's a lot of different deities. And what I'm hoping is that when she gets older, then she'll make the best decision for herself. And I'm do the same thing with my son.
Well, hey, that was a great explanation, Mr. Ivey. And again, like I say, sir, you are very consistent. So I'm going to stick with it. Nathan Ivey is against Santa, but he's for Christmas.
I mean,
Squad 52.
that wouldn't be accurate.
Science.
That wouldn't be
Yeah.
accurate, but you go ahead and do what you got to do, man. Get some T-shirts made.
Man, see, Mr. Ivey, you messing. Oh, before I go, real quick.
Sure.
This is real inside kind of stuff. Would you recommend a audio interface or a Rodecaster Pro mixer?
What kind of mics are you using?
I have 3 studio mics and a headphone mic.
What kind of studio mics are they?
That's the whole thing. That's why I'm asking you that question.
Well, if you're gonna get the Rodecaster Pro, then you should get the Rode Pod mic, which is what I'm using right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
because the Rodecaster
Rodecaster
Pro is programmed for the Rode Pod mic.
Okay.
So you're gonna get the best out of it.
As far as okay, all right, okay, but again, if I want to have if I want to take phone calls, if I basically want to do what you do, an audio interface would make that a little more complicated as opposed to the Rodecaster Pro mixer.
Now, when you say audio interface, what kind of interface are we talking about?
With a computer.
Yeah, I know that because even your Rodecaster Pro is going to go into your computer. But I'm saying, what's the model?
Right.
I mean, there's different levels of audio interfaces. The Rodecaster Pro is an audio interface.
Right. Yeah, because back a couple years ago, Mr. Ivey, when I was getting ready to do my thing, which I thought I knew a lot, but I knew very little. I had the microphones and I bought like a kit, you know, where it comes with the audio interface, comes with the mic and all that. But then right after I got it, my laptop crashed. But I have a little small one. It's one of the cheap ones. I don't even remember the name of it. But I figured if I wanted to step it up, because the Rodecaster Pro is like $500.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just asking your input. I don't want to get too deep into it.
Well, no, I don't mind doing it, man. I want to share. You know, you support me. I want to support you. We should probably have a conversation offline. But again, there might be some people out there interested in podcasting and they can get something out of it. So again, I don't know when you say what kind of audio interface are you talking about and what would that do that the Rodecaster Pro doesn't do? But I mean, if it's the same, then just get yourself a Rodecaster Pro.
Like myself.
You said what now?
For a beginner like myself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's going to be a learning curve. None of this stuff is rocket science, no matter what you get. But yeah, you know, if you get a Rodecaster Pro, get yourself some pod mics, boom, you'll be hitting. You'll be in.
Okay. All right. I'll take that advice, you know, because again, I was just looking at the money compared to that little cheap thing I bought. And then the Rodecaster Pro. It's going to be a $500 investment. But hey, Mr. Ivey,
you might want to get a Go XLR.
I got the money. So
yeah. Oh, you got the money. I know because you walking while retired. I mean, you know, there's some things you can do, man. Hit me up, man. We can talk about it. I'll give you some. I'll help as much as I can.
Oh, Mr. Ivey, I got some things I'm working on.
Cool.
And as well as my daughter, because you know my daughter is a naturopathic doctor. She works in the medical marijuana industry. Well, not the industry, but she helps set up dispensaries in Arizona.
Okay.
And she's a foodie as well with her vegan cooking.
Okay.
So I'm working on some things. She's working on some things. We always got you in the back of our mind, Mr. Ivey.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Mr. Ivey, I've been listening to you for a long time. I've learned a lot from you as far as what you do and how you do it. So I just wanted to ask you that quick question.
Okay,
That's
sure.
all.
All right. Any more details
again,
we can talk offline.
We will be, maybe 2021 is going to be outstanding for Black media, and it's going to really blow up. And a lot of people like myself who have been dabbling in social media the last couple of years because of politics are going to start making that transition in 2021 to becoming like the Nathan Ivey Show or like Roland Martin or anybody out there who has a voice, but it comes down to how you produce, how you produce it, how it looks to people as opposed to just saying stuff.
Right. That's the element. All right, Barry. Well,
Okay,
listen, if I can be a resource, let me know, man.
All right, because Mr. Ivy, Mr. Ivy, my daughter, she did a demo for her weight loss clinic that she works in, that she runs, and she sent it to me. And I said, Tanisha, can I send it to Nate? She said, no, not yet. So I'm gonna honor her wishes and not send it to you, because I thought about sending it to you behind her back, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait until she's ready, because Mr. Ivy, the young lady's got some talent on camera, but that's my daughter, so I'm gonna pump her up. But that's all I got, Mr. Ivy. I won't take up no more time. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch. I apologize, Cassandra.
He is foolish. He is. Again, that's why I like Drop, man. I'm gonna say it again. I like me some Drop. I know people be going hard at him. Sometimes he be talking out the window, but I like the brother, man. He is who he is. He don't give a damn. He gonna challenge me. He gonna push me. He gonna do his black conservative thing. Now he's moving into doing media. That's great. I have amassed a lot of knowledge, quite honestly, in the world of digital media over the last 4 years in terms of all phases of it. I've thought about maybe, monetizing that, as a consultant. But to you, to my listeners, to my Patreons, especially to the choppers, just hit me up. I mean, a lot of people already have. I tell them all the same thing. Hit me up. I'll help as much as I can. I want to see you do your thing. Get big. That'll be great. And perhaps if you're interested, maybe we can work together. Who knows? But even if not, boom, you got a question about doing a pod or how to set up a pod or what's the best equipment. I am your man. I've made not every mistake, but I've made some mistakes. So you don't have to. This is what I do. Trust me. And I'm hip to all of the latest tech and looking into 2021, 2022, what's going to be hot. All of the platforms. And then, of course, in terms of producing it as well. So you got a question, hit me with a direct message, and I'll try my best to answer it and push you in the right direction so you don't waste a lot of time and money. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping other people. You know what I'm saying? There's a guy right now that's doing a sports pod that I want to circle back around with. He's starting his own studio. He's like, Nate, can you help me? Absolutely. Absolutely. The capabilities these days in terms of doing a home studio depends on your budget. That's the first question, but you can set it up. You can set it up to rival anything in the world. The only difference the only difference you may have, and I think is a minor difference, is in terms of soundproofing. Other than that, you can do anything. It depends on your budget, but you can do anything these days. And I would love to help you with that. It would be my pleasure, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? I would get a kick out of just helping you. So just hit me up. That goes directly to a team at to the choppers, to my patrons, y'all at the front of the line. Hit me up. Don't be shy. I mean it. And I'll try my best. Even with Drop, I'm going to circle back around with him. And hey, you know what? Just to make sure he says audio interface, that is an audio interface. It depends on what you're trying to do and how much your budget is. That's the first question. What's your budget? If you got a big budget, man, you can do anything. If you got a medium budget, you can do a lot of things. You got a small budget, you can do a whole bunch. You can do a whole bunch. But just hit me up. I'm an open book. 513-873. What's the use of having knowledge if you ain't going to share with the people that support you? That's how I look at it. Real simple. That's real simple. 513-873-7134. All right, we got a new sponsor. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see our sponsor this morning. I got a quick video I want to share with you. And when we come back, I'll talk more about our sponsor. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Brian. I make fine jewelry and wearable art. I use the finest metals, stones, and gems to bring you unique, one-of-a-kind pieces, all available in my online store, imgbat.com. I design for men, women, and children. I use natural stones, and I create my own. My mission is to provide everyone high-quality pieces that fit your budget. Have money for diamonds, rubies, and gold? I got you covered. Bank account set up a certain way? I have high-grade synthetic alternatives. The point is, everybody should have access to nice things. I also have state-of-the-art jewelry cleaning equipment and 3D printing capabilities. After fighting the ugly conditions we've endured for so long, it's time to create something beautiful. Black-owned, black-designed jewelry for everyone. IMG BAT, fine jewelry and wearable art. Listeners of the Nathan Ivey Show, you get 10% off. Just put in Choppers in the discount code. And Patreons, follow up with Nathan and he'll tell you how to get 15% off.
All right. And there's a link in today's description on Facebook and YouTube. They'll take you directly to imgbat.com. It's a new black-owned fine jewelry and wearable art online store based in the city of Cincinnati, but they ship anywhere, ship everywhere. You can browse and purchase products. All the pieces are one of a kind. I'll say it again. All of the pieces are one of a kind. So you're going to be rocking something that is instantly a collector's item because it's one of a kind. You're going to have a piece of art, black owned with black hands, that nobody else is going to be rocking. Products sell quickly online and inventory is constantly changing. If you want to see his complete body of work, you can follow IMGBAT on Instagram and Facebook. Listeners of the Nathan Ivey Show get a 10% discount on purchases over $25 through the end of the year. Just put Choppers as the coupon code. Again, just put Choppers, CHOPPERS, not Choppers, AS, but CHOPPERS as the coupon code. If you're a patron of the Nathan Ivey Show, then you get 15% off, an additional 5%, and I'll be posting a link for you directly. And again, here's what I say. Go check them out. See if there's some pieces you like. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about black wealth building and supporting black-owned businesses. This is a black-owned business as well. Make sure you get that product code in there, the coupon code, so you can get that 10% discount. Or if you're a Patreon of the Nathan Ivey Show, a 15% discount. And there's a special code for my patrons. I'll be sharing that with you during the show. So, or shortly thereafter today's show. So if you're interested, you can get an additional 5% off. Again, the link is in today's description on Facebook and YouTube. So check them out. Tell me what you think. If you buy anything, take a photograph of it. You know, it might be a gift. So maybe after Christmas or whatever, take a photograph of it. Send it to me. I'll send it to them. I'm sure they can use it for promo purposes. And they really love to see that and get a kick out of it. And maybe you're thinking, okay, well, Christmas right around the corner. You might have a birthday that's close. Could be a great one-of-a-kind, unique art piece that you can order from imgbat.com. Again, imgbat.com. All right, 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning, again, welcome to my home. Somebody asked me about that picture up there, and that's me at the top. And my two little brothers. I got two brothers. One is named Kareem. The other is named Jamil. Kareem and Jamil, my two brothers. Great people, man. Very smart, intelligent black men. And that was us when we were very young. That's that Olin Mills right there. Anybody get those Olin Mills here in the city of Cincinnati? Yeah. Hold on. I can reach back and grab this. Yeah, I keep it close to me, man. It's got a little dust on it, but since you asked, there it is. Look at us. Look at little Nate. Yeah, we was what they call Shab back in the day, right? Look at that. That's straight Olin Mills. I love them. That's my bros right there. Look at my peoples. We was all handsome. Look at me. Still look the same. Look at that. Yeah, that was little Nate. These are my peoples right there. I love these men right here. It's my bros. What up, Kareem? What's up, Jamil? Yeah. Oh, we used to terrorize the communities, man. Terrorize. Speaking of Walnut Hills, speaking of Mount Healthy, I spent some time on Mount Healthy on Meredith Drive. Shout out to Meredith Drive. Anybody live near Meredith Drive? Yeah. That little shopping mart, man, I used to be over there all the time. It was the closest thing to where we lived at. Just as you turn the corner and go up Meredith Drive, there's some apartments right there. I don't know, they weren't condos, but they were like more like a I don't know if they were apartments, but I'll just say apartments for lack of a better word. And we used to live like, go up the hill, turn in the first parking lot. Boom, we used to live right there. We had some good times. Some great times. Shout out to Mount Healthy. Back in the day. All right, let me go straight back to the choppers this morning, see what's popping. Jared Rice, good morning, hashtag team. And I don't know how we got back on the Santa Claus thing. I think it was Tony. Okay. As I shared with you, there was some big news for the Negroes of the Negro League. They have now been invited to the big house, so to speak. Major League Baseball is now going to fully recognize the Negro Leagues as a part of Major League Baseball. Now, what does that mean? Well, in all practical purposes, what that means now is that all of those records that the Negro League players amassed, they will now be included in Major League Baseball. That's essentially what it means. So the Negroes, Major League Baseball has now invited the Negroes to the big house. That's a good thing. That was an injustice that was long overdue. Glad to see it. Also, Cincinnati Public Schools, in terms of some news that you practically can actually use, CPS has adopted a new anti-racism policy. I went through some of the bullet points just for you this morning, gave you just a little bit of flows on it, but it's worthy of deeper attention. And I'm going to reach out to the various school board members. I'm going to reach out to all of them to see if we can get them on the show, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, to get their thoughts as to what that really means. And where's the gap? Where do we need to go from here? Okay. Are they all satisfied with the anti-racism policy? They all voted for it, which was unanimous, which I think says a lot. And I also think it says something about the current culture that we live in right now. Post Breonna Taylor, post George Floyd world. And now we're starting to see some of the dividends maybe. So we'll have to wait and see. I posted a link early in the Chop Shop for you to check it out for yourself. And you can do your due diligence. And I see that as a running conversation. I'm bringing it up today. I'm not scheduled to speak with any school board members today. I mean, they can feel free to call in if they want to do so. And can share their thoughts with the public. But I'll be reaching out directly to all the school board members. I'll tell you which ones actually respond. And just to get their thoughts on what that means, why they voted for it, and what they want to see moving forward. Again, I'll say it again. Please like and share today's stream. If you like this kind of content, hit your boy with a like and a share. It means everything. When you share the show, quite frankly, more people see it. It's real simple. Real simple. Good morning to you. Tracy writes, Panther. Tracy writes, you got adults who believe Wakanda is real and want to fly there. Those goofballs going to that fake Black Panther funeral too. I don't know any adults that believe Wakanda is real. I wish Wakanda was real, but I'm not one of them. Wakanda was a part of one of my favorite Marvel Comics series, and remains my favorite. They're doing a fake Black Panther funeral. I would put all those people, like, if you really believe Wakanda is real, I put that in the same boat as adults that believe that Santa is real and people that think that Trump actually won the election. To me, it's all in the same boat of self-delusion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all good to have fun. There's a difference saying, hey, it's all fun, I don't believe in it, and, oh, this is real. There's two different things. Nathan act like kids out here calling Santa daddy and giving him all their glory. Santa inferiority complex. Santa inferiority complex. Santa inferiority complex. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Nathan act like kids out here calling Santa daddy and giving him all the glory. No, I'm acting like parents out here calling Santa daddy and give us Santa all the glory. That's another reason I refuse. Man, listen, mom and dad in this house pay for all the gifts. We do that. We getting all the credit. If there's any credit, the people that work for it gonna get credit. We ain't giving to no fictional person. Why are you holding on to this delusion so hard, Tracy? You holding on with two hands. I'm not gonna let go. Let go. Give us free. Release your hold on Santa and walk away from it. Walk away. It ain't real, period. Clumazer writes, come on, Kev. You can't mess with Santa. You can't mess with Santa with the hands, LOL, right. He was all out of order. Santa have him in the Cobra clutch. Don't mess with Santa. I guess. Miss Amala writes, my kids celebrated Christmas when they were young, and I enjoy seeing their faces on Christmas morning, knowing I did that. But they were all smiles, and Daddy Claus is headed back to bed because he was up all night putting together racing tracks and doll houses while full on chocolate chip cookies and milk. I said it, keeping it real. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Cassandra writes, so your kids don't listen to Christmas music, Nate? When the songs come on, you just sit there and debunk the myths like a Grinch? Do they listen to Christmas music? I think we listen to like some of that Motown Christmas music, things like that. I think people were trying to change the conversation now, which if you notice, when people start losing arguments or their argument is weak, they'll change it. Oh, now we're going to change the conversation to something they feel more comfortable on. So now the conversation is no longer about, do you believe in Santa? And now the conversation is, do you tell, no, so no longer is the conversation, do you tell your kids that Santa is real or not? And now the conversation is all about Christmas. Let me bring it all back. I'm talking about Santa. But to answer your question, Cassandra, I think we do like the whole Motown. I think they play it. Me personally, I ain't really into all of that. I mean, can't you tell? That ain't really my thing. But, you know, they play some Motown. I think Usher got a Christmas song or something like that. I mean, I think that plays in the background. Do the kids dance to it? They may have. They might. They might sing Jingle Bells, something like that. I'm not really into all of that. So I'm not the Grinch. I'm the dude that keeps it real. So I want the kids to have a good time to a point. But I don't try to rent in a parade. You know, if they want to dance around and watch cartoons that are like Christmas themed or snowball themed, go right ahead and have your fun with it. If they want to play, what is it, the Motown Christmas? I think we play that. Go right ahead, do the Motown Christmas. Just understand that Santa ain't real. That's my number one thing. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Nathan, it's Tracy. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
I don't think anybody in your chop shop that did the whole Santa Claus game with their kids is delusional. It's a game. That's all it is. And I'm going to use your words. Two things can be true at the same time. We can be proud that we were able to get our kids at the time the gifts that they got, and can also tell them that it came from Santa. It's just one big game that we played, and it brought no harm to the kids. They didn't love Santa more than they loved their parents. Hell, and let's go back to, you know, writing on the gifts. Don't no kids take time to see whose name is on the damn gift and where it came from. That's why I hate wrapping paper anyway, because it's just a waste of money. They just sit down, they rip open the gifts, and they just say, ooh, and it's just the whole look on their faces and them being happy. If a fat white man did it and we told him that he did it, so what? That only lasts a couple years anyway. It's just fun. But, you know, you have your way of raising your kids. I have my way of raising mine. We can agree to disagree. It's all love at the end of the day. I'm just glad I'm at the point now where my kids are 16 and 19. They can get an envelope and I don't even have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was fun while it lasted. I don't know if my grandkids believe in Santa Claus. I'm so done with all of this Christmas stuff anyway. But that's just where I am with it. It's just all fun.
Well, see, that's my point. And you're right. It is all fun. And people should do what they want to do in their house. But that's my point. You said it earlier. Two things can be true at the same time. And that's why I'm trying to liberate parents, Tracy. Maybe not you, because y'all beyond that. Y'all boys soon to be, 18 and out, But what I'm trying to tell parents is that you can still enjoy the Christmas holiday and tell your kids the truth about Santa. That's my whole point. It's not going to spoil their Christmas because you tell them the truth about Santa. You can enjoy Christmas and the gifts and the milk and the cookies and watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and still tell them the truth that Santa's not real. How do I know? Because I'm doing it.
Well, if my kids choose to grow up and tell their kids that Santa is real, I'm not going to ruin it for them. My mom told me that Santa was real. I told my kids Santa was real. Maybe it's just a generational game. Who knows? But I'm not going to ruin it for anybody if, whatever. It is what it is, right?
I'm going to ruin it for my grandkids. I'm going to tell you straight now.
I can't hear your phone is going way out.
Oh, is it? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that I am going to ruin it for my grandkids.
You said you will ruin it for your grandkids?
Yeah, I will.
Well, we just going to call you Grandpa Scrooge then.
I mean, it is what it is. Why would I tell my kids the truth and then lie to my grandkids? I'm not going to do that.
Because it's their kids.
Okay.
And I mean, it's their kids, and if that's how they choose to raise their kids, you might not like it, but I don't know. I'll just call you Grandpa Scrooge when that day comes.
Well, I mean,
but you have a good one, Nathan.
You too, thank you. Yeah, it's not gonna stop anything. Like I'm gonna ruin it for my grandkids. If my daughter and my son grew up to have children, and therefore I have grandchildren, when they come to Granddad's house, they're gonna know there's no Santa. Now, at their house, if they want to keep the lies going and the myth going, you go right ahead and do that. But at Granddad's house, Granddad's going to keep it real. Simple as that. If my kids don't like it, then don't bring them to Granddad's house. Simple as that. Don't bring them over here. Because over here, I'm going to tell you the truth. Simple as that. I'm not going along with it. It's just some things I'm not willing to budge on. That's one of them. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Talking about something. It's harmless to teach your kids that a fat white man is dropping off gifts. Well, then it's harmless to believe that Trump is, in fact, the president and that Joe Biden stole the election. It's harmless. They can believe what they want to believe, right? I believe the world is flat. It's harmless. The world is flat, right? I can believe what I want to believe, right? Let me make a real strong statement here. If you're somebody that believes in Santa and you lie to your kids, then you cannot criticize Trumpsters because they believe that somehow the election was stolen from Trump. You can't. You don't have a leg to stand on. You can't say nothing about the Trumpsters. Nothing about them. Because you're doing the same thing. I read over the last 24 hours, this was an article. No. It was a video clip from MSNBC, right? And one of their reporters was talking with a Trump advisor. It tickled the hell out of me. And they said that Trump is running around pouting in the White House, right? All in his feelings, talking about he's not going to leave on Inauguration Day. I hope he doesn't. I want him to get all in his feelings and barricade the Oval Office. That'll be great media. They drag his ass out the same way they dragged out and escorted Omarosa off the grounds. I'm here for that. I hope he does that. I'm going to say it again, though. If you believe in Santa and you run around here lying to your kids, oh, Santa Claus is real, then you can't say nothing about the Trumpsters that believe that Trump, in fact, won the election and it was stolen by Joe Biden, the media, left-wing media cabal, the blacks, the Jews, the transgenders, and the gays, and whoever the Martians, whoever the hell they think stole the election. You in the same boat. You are a hypocrite. You are no different. Facts are facts are facts are facts are facts, period, people. Okay? Simple as that. Nothing else needs to be said. All right, 513. Why are we doing this? 513-873. Oh, that's right, because it's the Christmas season. I'm here. I'm trying to liberate you. Allow me to liberate you. Damn, I feel like Harriet Tubman. I show up trying to get you out the plantation. I ain't gonna leave this plantation. I ain't leaving. Oh, we eat good here. Massa really like us. I'm trying to get you to freedom. Come with me. Come with me, but you have to take the first step, parents. You have to take the first step. Come on. You can leave. You can be free and rid yourself of this Christmas curse. So it's a generational Christmas curse. My work is just getting started. It's a good reason I'm here. And keep it real with you. I don't see some of these same folks. I don't see anything wrong with it. Will be laughing at and criticizing the Trumpsters because they don't see anything wrong with the fact that he was conned out the election. It was robbed. He was robbed. Stop the steal. Y'all don't have a leg to stand on to challenge and say anything about the Trumpsters. You don't have a leg to stand. I'm here to tell you. You don't have the leg to stand on. You don't have a leg to stand on. I'm sorry. All right, let me move on here. Many things I want to bring up. And this next story, again, this is your morning destination for interesting conversations. I want to get some stories to get your day started. This next story, and again, feel free to talk about whatever you want to talk about. It might be some folks that have some residual thoughts about the Christmas thing. Again, you're going to hear this. It'll keep coming up between now and Christmas. And if you didn't hear, I gave you my Christmas schedule. Pardon me. My Christmas schedule is I'm going to be with you today, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I will be with you on the 24th. I will not be with you on the 25th. I'm going to chill. Unless it's like some breaking news or something like that. Hey, you know. So I'm saying no right now, but anything can happen. And then, of course, I'll be back with you on the 28th, and we'll finish out the year. And then that last week of the month, I'm going to spend, even some of next week, I'm going to start looking back and talking about some of the biggest stories. I've come up with some interesting ways to do that. So we can kind of look back. There's so many things that happened in 2020 that got overshadowed because of COVID. But of course, the biggest story in 2020 is COVID-19. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So that's my Christmas schedule. I'll be with you today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Not planning to be with you on Friday unless something is happening. And then, you know, regular schedule back on the 28th, which is a Monday. And I've got guests that are scheduled near the end of the month. And there's a lot of stuff happening with CDM in terms of new podcasts we'll be talking about and promoting as well. So make sure you stick around for that. But this next story is a reason as to why I am against the death penalty. And it's just another critique of the American so-called criminal justice system. A Michigan man was recently freed from prison. He spent 37 years in prison, family. 37 years. His name is Walter Forbes. You may have read about this. He said that the best thing about being free was the moment he saw his family for the first time. 37 years in prison. He spent more time in prison than there are people who are alive right now. 37 years. 37 years. Like, he spent more time in prison than the time that I have nearly been alive. Think about that. 37 years in prison. He spent 4 decades. 1, 2, 3, 4 decades. Let's go back here. So this is 2020. That means that he went to jail in 1980. He spent the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, all in prison. And why? Because a witness lied. This is the American judicial system, or the American so-called justice system, on full display. Would it shock you if I told you that Walter Forbes is a black man? Is that shocking you? It's not going to shock you at all, right? See, that's another reason as to why I do not support the death penalty in any cases, even when somebody admits to it, even if it's a case of rape or it's the most heinous crime ever. And the reason why, family, is because why that individual who committed that offense might deserve it. I think about all the people that's going to get caught up, swept up by the corrupt criminal justice system and end up on death row and perhaps lose their life who didn't even commit the crime. I'll say it again. The jails are full of people who've been incarcerated for crimes that they did not commit, and or they didn't get the quality of justice that they actually deserved. Walter Forbes said the best thing about being free was being able to see his family for the first time. I mean, just think about that. Think about how much you care about your family. Think about how much we take for granted being able to walk home and put that key in the lock and turn it, and your children are there or your spouse is there. Could you imagine being completely removed from them and being put in a box for 4 decades? Many of us wouldn't survive. Anise Kennebrew was the star witness that landed Forbes in prison for nearly 4 decades. She said that she fabricated the story because she was intimidated. Apparently, someone threatened her and her family. You see this? 63 years old. Black people are 13% of the U.S. population. But black people make up half of all of the exonerations. Like I said, it's once a month we get a story like this. I like to talk about this because it reminds people what we're dealing with. So when I hear people, in particular black people, talking about, oh yeah, death penalty, yeah, oh yeah, lock them up. I'm like, wait a minute, wait. Let's stop acting like this system is fair. It ain't fair. Now, if Nathan ruled the world, what would happen is Anise Kennebrew would immediately get she would get a 37-year sentence, in my opinion. To me, that would be justice. Anise Kennebrew should spend the rest of her life in jail. But again, think about it. If we change the laws and we lock people up for those kind of things, then she never would have came forward. And I think that it's better that he get out and can spend the rest of his life with his family than she go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like if the laws were that if you get caught lying and your lie sends somebody to jail, then when you come forward and the evidence comes out, then you go to jail and finish out their sentence, then nobody would ever come forward. And to me, that's a greater injustice. I'm glad this brother's out, man. But again, I bring this up as a reminder that this criminal justice system is not fair. It is not 100%. People act like just because you get charged, you automatically guilty. Just because you get arrested, you automatically guilty. That's not how this works. They get it wrong all the time. People go to jail for a long time. People sit in jail before they even get before a judge. How's that fair? Just want to make that point. His brother's name is Walter Forbes, 63, and was most recently released after spending 4 decades in prison. Could you imagine the hell he went through? Can you imagine? Hey, Black Russia, call me right back, man. I'll put you straight on. And for this Anise Kennebrew, how can you go on with your life knowing that your testimony, your false testimony, your false witness statement sent another human being to jail for something they didn't do? How can you live with yourself? Like, unless she's the kind of person that's like a straight up like psychopath, meaning they do things and they don't care about the consequences, don't weigh on them or whatsoever, that's got to eat at you. That's got to eat at you. So I'm conflicted. Like, on one hand, I think that people like Anise Kennebrew should go to jail immediately for 4 decades. On the other hand, if we had that kind of law in place, then people like Anise Kennebrew would never come forward. And then this brother or whoever these individuals are who've been falsely accused would they probably die in jail. And then from what I've been told, nobody is guilty in prison, right? Everybody was innocent. So his pleas of innocence is just getting drowned out in the chorus, in a chorus of all of the folks saying they're innocent. I didn't do it. I was railroaded. You know what I'm saying? Terrible story right there, man. Terrible story. It all started back on July 11th, 1982, when Forbes broke up a bar fight, which led one of the men involved to shoot him. The next day, the man, Dennis Hall, died after a fire was set in his apartment. 37 years ago, a woman named Anise Kennebrew testified that 3 men, including Walter Forbes, burned down Hall's apartment. It wasn't until 2017 that she decided to come clean. Wait a minute, 2017? This is 2020. It took 3 years? The wheels of justice turned very slowly. Prosecutors say the owner of Hall's apartment is responsible for his death, as it was later discovered to be an arson for insurance money scheme, for which the owner was later convicted. But somehow she got intimidated. The statute of limitations for perjury lasts for 6 years, meaning that this woman, Anise Kennebrew, got away with lying to authorities and the judge and will not face any new charges. She sent this man to prison for 37 years and nothing's going to happen. And again, I mean, you can make an argument that that benefits Walter because let's say that there was no statute of limitations and she was looking at 6 years. She probably would have never came forward. I don't think she ever would have came forward. Like if she was the kind of person that would have lied and sent this man to prison for 37 years, then she's the kind of person that never would have came forward if she had to deal with any kind of consequences. There's a lot of people out there that want to do ish, but not deal with any consequences whatsoever. Let me put this brother's image up here so you can see this brother, man. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame. I feel for the brother, man. He lost his whole life. I mean, you know, I'm glad he's out now. Look, that's a brother right there. His whole life over a damn lie. This brother lost his whole life over a lie. It's a damn shame. It really is. Again, 513-873-7134. Let me jump on YouTube and on Facebook and see what's popping this morning. Good morning, everybody. Glenn Rice, good morning, Nathan the Choppers. Susan Rice, good morning. Deshauna Rice, good morning, Nathan and everyone. If you are at work, have a good day. Absolutely. Thank you for saying so. I am at work. Frenay Rice, good morning. Maurice Rice, glorious resurrection. Thanking Yah. Cruther Rice, good morning, Choppers. Glenn Rice, congrats on your new sponsor, Nate. Thank you so much. You know what? Really, it's really about supporting them. IMGBAT. Rosalind Rice, morning all. Dale writes, hey, do you know any black people with enough capital to purchase Periscope from Twitter since it's shutting down in March 2021? Is that right? Hold on, I didn't read that, man. Appreciate it, Derek. Where's right? Twitter is shutting down its live video streaming app Periscope. Well, I mean, I would have to say they're doing this because they can't compete. I mean, think about all the live streaming apps. Like you can go live on Facebook. You've got IG Live. You've got Snapchat, and now you've got the evolution of TikTok. Like, I don't know anybody that's on Periscope is all. Like, I have a Periscope account, but I never use it. Yeah, they're shutting it down. Let me read here a quick article. Yeah, it looks like they just can get enough adopters and it's not really, you know, trending the way they wanted to, so they don't want to spend the money on it. I get it. Good morning to you. TNT Rice, but we choppers. Maurice Rice, yeah, I had one there has years ago. Nat Rice, good morning, Facebook. Choppers, good morning to you. Maurice Rice, about time those brothers got their respect. Crystal Smith Rice, good morning. 1 week away from Christmas Eve. It's hilarious. Nat writes, it's funny how my son's second grade teacher tried to teach the class about Babe Ruth, but not Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, etc. I had to give my son a history lesson. Well, we got to do that. TNT writes, this year, we about to enter Christmas break. Anthony writes, Major League Baseball is just trying to tap into more black dollars, Nate. Why did it take this long to recognize the best players of the game? Michelle Dillingham. What's up, Marshy? Deshauna writes, YouTube has a delay on live. It's dragging behind. Really? Wonder why. Susan writes, I think it's because I think in part because of what's happening in the NFL caused MLB to take a look in the mirror. As well, always about the almighty dollar. So y'all cynical, huh? Billy writes, Nat Turner as always say, all the history is not what they teach in the book, even though it's what's in the book we need to pass the test. Right. He writes, Billy writes, morning fam, choppers up. Good morning to you. Pamela writes, National League, American League, and now the Negro League equals Major League. Susan writes, we are done dying insistence on change. Toy writes, policies can't make people not be racist. If that's who they are, it only makes them change their strategies on executing racist agendas. White-only signs have come down, but segregation still happens. Du jour, de facto racism. You talking about CPS policy? Well, if they didn't have an anti-racism policy, I think they needed it. There's at least one part of it that I think, I want to think the best about all of it. But there's one policy, like the part I read in which they said that they're going to more, sort of track the discipline. Because we know that Black and non-white kids can be over-disciplined. Like, I don't have CPS numbers in front of me. But I do know that if you take, let's say, Fairview Elementary School, I was told this by a very credible source, that when Fairview German Language School opened up their enrollment, because previous to that, they had this system that really favored, people that can leave their job and camp out all day, which is a form of classism, right? Not everybody can do that. It's unfair. But I was told that when they did that and they opened their enrollment to, different students, that they saw an uptick in disciplinary issues, like people being sent to the principal's office for discipline. And so I was told that they started to track that. And I think that's very, very important. I think it should be tracked. So, at my daughter's school, they have a situation in a system where like the students can come, and if they have an issue, they can write it. They can write a note to the assistant principal of their particular grade. And I've always thought this, and perhaps this is what they're going to do, but every one of those should be tracked. Every one of those should be tracked, and it should be tracked in terms of what the eventual outcome is. Because what happens with some of these racist teachers is that the principals and assistant principals will cover for them. The same way we see it happening with law enforcement, right? Not in CPS, and I'm not with the Cincinnati Police Department, but we know this happens. So it works like this. You got a complaint against an officer. You take your complaint to the police precinct. They write it, put it in the trash. It goes nowhere. Well, the same thing happens with some of these teachers. The same thing happens if you have a teacher that gets out of line. What they'll try to do is manage it. They'll bring you in, they'll sit you down to be the principal or the principal for that grade. But it doesn't go anywhere. And so they'll say, oh, well, this was wrong. The teacher might apologize. But if there's no paper trail, it doesn't really exist anymore after that. And I think that's wrong. I think there's some behaviors from teachers and administrators that should be documented, and it should be tracked. It should be tracked to see if there is, if there's a trend. Does it happen a lot? Because if not, what happens is it becomes a series of individual incidences. So we found out this week when we had Iris Rowley on and Al Gerhardstein on Monday that they're changing things with CPD. They're going to stop the peer review. And I think that they should try to do something with CPS as well. Because right now, CPS has a peer review. So if you got a problem with a teacher, who do you go to? You go to the teacher's peers. You go to the assistant principal and the principal. That's the peer. And what I've seen in a lot of cases is there's a really close personal relationship, professional relationship. So nothing really happens. They're like, yeah, you was wrong. They might say something to them, but there's no real documentation. There's no real teeth behind it. So until the next time something happens, nothing really happens. And so you never really get a chance to really track it. It becomes a series of different and desperate incidences, and there's no real lines drawn between the two to show, behavior. That's my observation. So maybe they will address that with this new anti-racism policy because, just like with CPD, you can't hold teachers and administrators responsible if every time you go in, you're always starting with a clean slate. And there's no real recognition of what's already taken place. It's like every time is a new time. And that's why these officers have been getting off. Number one, you sitting down with your peers and they don't want to go so hard on you because they work with you. They like you or they sympathize for you. There's a lot of that happens with teachers and administrators. Like, I understand. Yeah, you understand. Or they'll say, oh, it sounds like this is a communication issue. Huh? This ain't no damn communication issue. This motherfucker just did some nonsense. But I've seen that and I've heard that. Oh, this is a community. They try to water it down to it's just a communication issue. And the teacher administrator has done some old racist-ish or some old out-of-line-ish. Oh, it just seems like it's about communication. Like I've sat there with administrators like, huh? How'd you get communication? But that's how they water it down and make it small because they don't really want to do nothing about it. And so documentation is key. Documentation is really, really key. Of every incident, every complaint, what did you do? What happened? What is going to go? What's the expectation? You know, so just like they do with the kids. If your son or daughter goes to school and do a whole bunch of dumb ish, guess what they do? They put discipline in process and then they put it in their file. I'm not so sure that happens with these teachers. I think the teachers get a talking to like, hey, Jane. Hey, Karen. Hey, Darren, can you come to my office? Hey, Karen, Darren, we got a complaint. Listen, we all stressed out over here, right? You know how this goes. We all stressed out. I just want to remind you that we want to be the utmost professionals all the time. Any way I can help you? No, I'm good. Hey, I was wrong. Okay, I'll do better. And that's it. Right? Tell me I'm wrong. Akeem writes, why James Harden on some Larry Holmes-ish? I don't know. TNT writes, race consciousness, instead of being oblivious or ignoring, is where a society needs to go to end systematic racism in policy through bad actors, which we did a great job of removing this past election season. And most importantly, through our actions. Susan writes, but policies do give us recourse. The rest is up to us. Yeah, policy can give you recourse. Like I said, I think CPS needed an anti-racism policy. They needed it because they didn't have it. And to not have a policy kind of comes across as if you don't think that racism is an issue. It is an issue. Race is a barrier for some people. You know, you got teachers that and administrators that and people that work inside the school that, yeah, they're working with kids, but that don't mean they're good people. That don't mean they don't have issues. That don't mean they don't have implicit bias. That don't mean that, you know, that the way that black people are looked at outside of the school system is not the way they're dealt with and looked at inside the school system. It don't mean that some of them ain't straight up racist. It don't mean that some of them have social issues and mental issues or, you know, the whole having a bad day. I've heard that as well. Oh, I just had a bad day. Wait a minute. You just had a bad day and did some dumb ish to my daughter. You shouldn't be allowed to get away with that. And why is it that teachers and administrators always seem to have a bad day with the black parents and the black kids? So, you know, I hope the CPS addresses that. You know, oh, I had a bad day. You had a bad day. So since you had a bad day, you're going to cause a bad day for a student? I'm telling you, I've heard this. I've heard this out of the mouth of teachers and administrators with my own daughter. I'm sitting here like, you think that means something because you said you had a bad day? That don't mean nothing. So what if you have a bad day tomorrow? And it becomes unfair because if your child has a bad day, they're not allowed to go to school and have a bad day and take it out in the classroom. Oh, that's discipline. But teachers and administrators are. And they can just walk away and get away with that. Like, oh, well, yeah, you know, it has been a rough 2 weeks for you. Huh? Really? Tell me, I've heard horror stories. Horror stories. I've heard teachers yelling at parents, teachers cussing at kids, throwing stuff in the classroom, and keep jobs. Like, if a student did that, detention. Oh, we're going to stop this. But the adults can do this? It's amazing. And it's amazing how much of this happens with black kids and black parents. It happens with white kids too, though, I must say. But again, I get it's a tough job. My thing is, listen, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. If you can't take the weight of your job, then move into another job. That's how I look at it. I don't really have no tolerance for it. You know, it's funny. If you go to Burger King or some fast food joint and you deal with a rude checkout person, a drive-through person, and they say, well, I had a bad day, you wouldn't tolerate it. And in that case, we're only talking about fast food. But we'll tolerate that, and we talk about the livelihood, the social and emotional well-being of our children. That don't make sense. It should be. There's some things I've heard of and seen that should not be tolerated. It should be, you listen, we're going to make a move off top, and then that'll stop it. But again, people, in my observation, people do what they can get away with. If they think they can get away with it, they're going to do it. And because they're doing it, that tells you they think they can get away with it. And that's why I say an anti-racism policy or just policies that kind of deal with these issues are definitely in place with CPS. Definitely. I think it's the right direction. I applaud them for that. Is it everything? No, it is not. But it's definitely in the right direction. Brent writes, good morning, Nathan the Chopper, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Good to see you. Lemmy writes, good morning. Good to see you, Lemmy. Tiff writes, good morning. Samantha writes, good morning, all. TNT writes, can you stop people from being racist? No, that's an internal battle they have to reconcile, but you can stop intentional and obvious acts of racism through policy and by removing people from positions of power who work against equality and justice for people of color. She's right about that. Yeah, you can't stop somebody being from racist, but you can deal with their actions on the job. You can create a culture in which certain actions and behaviors will not be tolerated on the job. You can be racist as you want to be, but you better perform this job in a certain way. And if you do not, here's what's going to happen. That works. How many people work your jobs and you know the rules? You know the rules. You know what the culture is. And you know if you break these rules or you defy this culture, then your job is subject to be taken. And they follow the rules. Lemmy writes, what school district is this? Cincinnati Public School District. Toy writes, policies don't always equate to recourse, especially if they are vaguely written. There may be no legal relief or even create a process for disciplinary/grievances. They are often not followed. Law enforcement agencies have policies, but, all good points. You're right. The devil is in the details. Everything's in the details. And the intentionality of it. You're right about that. See, the problem with any policy, especially with like CPS or CPD, is that humans are in charge of putting it in place. And as I keep saying, whenever human beings are involved, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Kelly writes, good morning, great people. Good morning to you. Carmelita writes, you are muted. Okay. Toy writes, his Santa story is hilarious, LOL. Sister Sandra writes, good morning, world. TNT writes, my kids never believed in Santa. Always told them I'm Santa. The hell? Right. Toy writes, from the devil. Well, I was making an extreme point, but I think I'm right on that. You try it and see what happens. Put Mephisto. Put Beelzebub or whatever name you want to use for Satan. Put Satan on there. They going from Satan. Mom, what's this? They're going to open that box. Oh, PS5. Thank you, Satan. Kids don't care. Lynn writes, good morning. Deshauna writes, LOL, my kids grown. I used to tell them I'm Santa. I'm the one bust my butt to get these gifts. Santa don't exist in my house. Exactly. Renee, that's hilarious. TNT writes, I believe in the Grinch. Danita writes, good morning, all. Susan writes, Santa Claus isn't a person, it's a spirit. And of course, your spirit is consistent with your own ethnicity. We got black Santa in my house, LOL. Listen, if you're going to have Santa and you black, he better be black. TNT writes, I hear my child playing a game in her virtual classroom about singing Christmas songs, and my baby don't know any Christmas songs. When I tell you we are far removed, girl, how you don't know Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Don't they teach y'all any of them songs in school? Maurice writes, Satan Claus is pagan. Oh, boy. Toy writes, my daughter is 4. Definitely going to be one that breaks the news about Santa. She learned about it from seeing the images. But at 4, she thinks critically. She was recently started inquiring about Santa getting into homes with no chimneys. I had nothing. Is that right? I love it when kids' wheels start spinning like, wait a minute. We don't have a chimney. Just sounds fishy to me. That's critical thinking. I love it. Kush writes, good morning, Nathan the Choppers. Renee writes, I think that all kids know that Santa isn't real or that their parents are playing a part in getting gifts. It's just having fun. No different than liking Black Panther, except don't do that. Don't do that, Renee. You are dead wrong. It is nowhere near like liking Black Panther because all kids know that Black Panther is a movie and a comic book. Some kids via their parents are told that Santa is real. It is not the same. I ain't gonna let you do that. It is not the same. Danita writes, grew up in Witten Terrace and we didn't have a chimney. So my mama told us he came through the mailbox, right? Nat writes, would Santa have melanin if he was from the North Pole? See, now you're getting all critical with it. He might be a little bit melanin challenged. Ballhead writes, good morning. Dita writes, Santa is whatever color the people are in the house he is going into. David writes, present. TNT writes, man, I grew up believing in Santa. I remember looking out the window for hours hoping to see a white man in a sled with reindeers flying in the air. Wasted time in my life. I can't get back. I won't play my kids out like that. Danita writes, that sucks. Someone should have told you that Santa won't come if you aren't asleep. Staying up looking out the window made him skip you. Okay, Danita. Michael writes, white man coming down my chimney, putting that heat to him. Ho, ho, ho. He must be trying to steal something. Y'all are hilarious, man. This is a fun topic. Angie writes, that's true, Nate. I stopped putting names on my grandchildren's gifts. Thank you, Angie. Kids don't care. Where the gift at? They're going to shake it. Oh, this must be that Xbox. I keep saying Xbox because kids love gaming consoles. They love it. Michael writes, when you start a lie, you're teaching a lie. To hell with Satan Claus. Frenay writes, speak, Nate. I knew Satan Claus didn't bring me presents as a child. Satan Claus? Renee writes, that's true, but that takes the fun away from the holiday. It does not take the fun away from the... Number one, for Christians, this ain't supposed to have nothing to do with no damn Santa Claus. Y'all out of pocket off the top for the Christians out there. You're disrespecting Jesus. That's off the top for the Christians out there. All right. All this Santa Claus stuff is made up. I'm trying to liberate you. I look at myself as the Harriet Tubman of Santa Claus. I want to free you from the plantation of lies that you've been telling and let you know that you can have a great Christmas. Listen, try it. Try it. Christmas is right around the corner. Tell your kids the truth. Guess what? Christmas is going. The only problem is now they're going to question you like, why you lie, Dad? Why you lie, Mom? See, that's the real reason why parents don't want to tell their kids about the truth about Christmas. Because you got to admit to your kids you lied to them. And parents don't like to lie to their kids. So now you've been lying for so long, you got to keep the lie going. That's how lies are. You got to keep it going. Oh, yeah, Santa Claus, because you want to delay the day in which they challenge you. And what you hoping is that they'll just mature on their own. And that when they finally confront you, the conversation won't be as bad. That's all it is. I know what it is. It's all about you. And you hiding behind the white dude in the red outfit. That's all it is. You don't have to. Dale writes, Nate, stop, man. You got me. So Danita writes, so aren't you proving the fact that Santa isn't a big deal and it doesn't hurt them? I think lying to your kids is lying to your kids. I think that does hurt them. I think believing that a white dude, I think that, and some of my white listeners are not going to like this, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. I think that believing in the benevolence of white people is a part of the mind control that black people have been suffering from. That's how I look at it. You know, if you look at it by extension, like believing in the mass benevolence of white people toward black people isn't of itself a problem. That's why I say if you're going to do it, make sure it's a black Santa. Anything else is intolerable. You are basically mind controlling your own child. Like you are a willing participant in the cultural appropriation of your own child. And essentially, you are paying into white supremacy. I mean, do I have to really take it there? Yeah, there's a link between believing in white Santa Claus and believing in white supremacy. Do I have to really say this? It's not harmless. It's very harmful. You can't say you believe in black excellence And you teaching your kids that a white dude is dropping off presents. It's a contradiction. Am I going too far with it? Could be. I'm just telling you my thoughts on it. You can do what you want to do with it. I'm just giving it to you straight. This is how I look at it. This is why I do what I do. That's how I look at it. I haven't, outside of Santa Claus, I haven't seen white benevolence work on a mass scale for black folks. I ain't seen it. I'm still looking for it. So the next step is telling you that your God is white. Do I have to get serious with you? I can. That's a problem. It's right up there with believing that Jesus is white. So if God is white, then where does that put your dark skin ass? Come on, folks. We can get deeper with it. It ain't just all fun. That's how they get you. Oh, it's just fun. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, please. I ain't believing that nonsense. So if you got to do the Santa stuff, make sure it's the blacks. I'm talking to my black listeners and viewers. You got to do the Santa Claus thing. It's got to be a black Santa. Anything else, it's like you put nails in your own coffin. It's like you're deluding yourself. Where they do that at? So there is some harm to come from it. It is. If you go on the whole white Santa route. I could go on for days and days. I feel this very strongly. The force is strong within me on this topic. All right. And you can leave the plantation. You can do it this year. You got 1 week in a day. Was Christmas? Yeah, it's a week in a day to tell your kids the truth. You ain't harming them one bit. All you're doing is you just don't have the courage to tell your kids the truth. That's all it is. Let's keep it real. You've been lying for years and years and years, and you just don't want to have that difficult conversation where your kids are like, well, why you lie? Because you're like, well, I don't know why I lied. That's all it is. Well, I lied because I thought I was lying for you. So now you're teaching your kids it's okay to lie if they think it's okay. I lied for you, Mom. That's why I didn't tell you that I did whatever I did, because I was the best. I was trying to keep a happy house. You don't want your kids doing that. Take my hand. Take my hand this morning. Take my hand this morning. We can do this together. All right. You can put your hand on ostensibly you're probably holding your phone anyway, but put your hand on your phone and say it with me. I'm going to tell my kids the truth about Santa this year. Say it with me now. I'm going to tell my kids the truth about Santa this year. I am going to tell my children the truth about Santa this year. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Janine writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. David writes, lowering the volume. Let me know when this clown is gone. Drop is not a clown. Drop is not. That brother just got a different viewpoint. That's it. Alicia writes, we didn't do Santa. My husband told the kids if they see a fat white man with a bag near our Christmas tree, then he's stealing stuff. I love your husband. Me and your husband like this right here. That's my kind of black man right there. That's what I'm talking about. Keep it real. Keep with hostility. Because if there was a Santa, damn it, black folks wouldn't be in the position we are in this country. Where the F was Santa during the slavery years? Where the hell was Santa during Reconstruction? Where the hell was Santa when they shot Martin Luther King and all the other black leaders? Come on, some goddamn Santa. Y'all better stop. Janine writes, greetings, drop. Victoria writes, if I had a younger kids, they would not want a gift if I put Donald Trump. But they grew up listening to talk radio all day. Victoria, I'm going to say this. If you put Donald Trump's name on your gifts, they're going to shake them. They're going to look at him like, Trump. They're going to open it up. And depending on what that gift is, they're going to be so happy. Maurice writes, that's a real man for apologizing. He did apologize to Cassandra. Let me jump in here. I think Cassandra's over here. Did you hear that, Cassandra? He did apologize. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did because he was dead wrong. Hold on, man. We got a familiar voice. We ain't heard from this brother in a minute calling into the show. Let me see Cassandra real quick, and then we got John from Florida. Tracy writes, been there and it worked for us. Let me see. I see Angela's in the house. She writes salutations. Get good to see you. Let me see. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Good morning to you. Cassandra writes, don't do that, Mahler, LOL. I just need the apology to be as loud as the disrespect he did. I agree. With that, let's go to the phones and say good morning. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's up, John?
I'm doing fine. I can't complain. In sunny Florida, it's about 75, possibly 80 degrees here this morning, but everything is fine. I guess you guys got all that snow cutting across the west.
Yeah, we got a little.
New York is getting swamped right now. So I don't miss that snow, all the shoveling in the winter and the cold. So I'm glad I'm not in that area now, along with the virus too. Interesting flows this morning. Some of the topics that you're pointing about. I have one question. I think one or two questions I want to ask you. The vaccine. I know you probably talked about it as much as whenever I can click in. Your feelings on these vaccines, the Pfizer and Malaysia, Moderna, and several other vaccines. Have you decided, you and your family, you're going to pick which vaccine, or you're going to wait and take a wait and see?
Yeah, man, real simple. I ain't going to be able to do it. I'm going to wait and see what happens. I'm not a vaccine person, period. But right now, I ain't going to be able to do it. I need to see more information. We need some time before we even consider it here. But right now, the answer is no.
Well, I'm glad you're pointing that out. And I'm from the old school. My mother used to always say, just because somebody's doing something, that don't mean you should do it. Wait and see. Don't follow the leader, but do your judgment and do your research. The reason I point that out is if you go to my website, purehistory.org, on the main page, scroll down, and Dr. Carrie Maduron, M-A-D-E-J, she's a researcher on these vaccines for over 20 years. And I posted early this morning, an interview, 11-minute interview, people, on that Moderna vaccine coming out, which is going to be, the FDA is going to pass it early this morning. And she clearly points out, be careful about putting that vaccine out, because that company is tied in with Bill and Linda Gates. Watch the video very closely, 11 minutes. But she breaks down the scientific things that are in that vaccine. Unbelievable what she breaks down what's in that vaccine. I used to talk to a lot of my family members and friends. I'm not, you don't take things that you don't do research on. And I was talking to my uncle and aunt here in Florida over the weekend. I'd be very careful to take something you don't know what's in it. That's the key. They got chips the size of a pebble that can detect your movements and what you're doing. And she points out in this vaccine clearly what I just stated to my aunt and uncle this past weekend. Wow, this Moderna, or Moderna, go to my website. I posted the video. It breaks down this Bill and Linda Gates vaccine, billions of dollars of our taxpayers' dollars that Trump, his cronies. Follow the money trail. You'll find out who's got stock with these vaccines. Billions of our dollars being stolen, given to these countries. What I'm saying is, you need to understand before you take anything, either Pfizer or this Moderna or any vaccine, what is in that vaccine. You don't want to find out you'll be glowing one day, or your body starts changing from a different cycle, or they got chips in there that can monitor, detect you. And if you go to China can catch you as soon as you come out of that airport. They screen and detect anything, your movements. So this was an interesting report that I posted. So the family, the people across the country can understand. It's your choice what you put in your system, but you better understand what's in it before you put it in your body. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we got that, John. How you been, man?
I'm doing fine. I can't complain. Just still working on my book. Last minute adjustments, editing. Hopefully it'll be out next year sometime. As soon as I get the first print copy, I will send it off to you. I'm sure if I don't send it to Lincoln Ware, he'll be upset too. But I will send you your own personal signed copy titled, or maybe I shouldn't put out the title yet, but I will. The Chickens Have Come Home to Roost. Autobiography of Lawrence E. Walker, Having My Say. Oh, I'm going to have my say. And you know, Mr. Nathan Ivey, I will have my say in this book. It was 900 something pages, but the editor in California said, this is too much. You got 2 books in one. Why don't we slice this down? I said, well, as long as you don't leave out the juicy parts, the public, the world needs to know what this country has been doing to us for 50 or so years. So what I do is write my autobiography of my life from childhood to present day, but I weave history in and out of the chapters because that's what I'm into. So, and I point out a link in there this morning that's going to go in the book about this Dr. Carrie Madej, M-A-D-E-J. Yes, maybe that's somebody you might want to interview because she lays out what this vaccine that the FDA is posting this morning. She really lays out, and in the video I posted on my website it's 11 minutes. It clearly lays out what this vaccine that is coming out and what's in it. That's the key. I think the family needs to understand. So people across the country, Black people, that they're pushing to take these vaccines. I would second guess some of this stuff. Now, the one thing I would leave you with this, the one thing about this vaccine is Pfeiffer's vaccine, you got to take 2 shots. 1 shot, you got to wait 30 days and come back and take another shot. But this Johnson & Johnson one, which I'm looking into, Johnson & Johnson headquarters is in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Their vaccine is going to be coming out soon. That vaccine, you only take 1 shot. And this Moderna, if I'm pronouncing it right, Moderna, that vaccine came out today. So what the timetable for getting it out across the country, all I'm saying is, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the people out there in the internet world, know what you're putting in your body before you put it in there, because you may come up with problems down the road. I don't want no chip or monitoring system or no glowing system in my body. Bill and Linda Gates, they're making billions of dollars on these contracts. Follow the money trail. Do your investigative research, Mr. Nathan Ivey, and hold people accountable. And I'll end with this. Reparation. Now, people, have a nice day.
I'm with you, brother. Thank you for the call. His brother talking about reparations, but he don't vote. How you going to get reparations and you don't even vote locally? Ah, man. But listen, I'm with you on that. Appreciate the call. Want to give you a heads up before I leave today. Today, I'll be a part of a live stream starting at 6:30 p.m. Now, if you're interested, you can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on Facebook at the Lead On, L-E-A-D, Lead On Facebook page. And it's going to be hosted by Dr. Eb G. I'm a part of that esteemed panel right there. Looking forward to it. It's titled The Audacity to Own. That'll be at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time today. I'm going to be promoting it super heavy throughout the rest of the day. So if you're around on Facebook, make sure you join that. I'll be talking about, building equity in terms of Black media equity and the audacity to own. I'm not sure what all the questions are going to be, but it's going to be around entrepreneurship and in particular Black entrepreneurship. You got Brother Willie there that's over with the Greater GCMI, Greater Cincinnati Micro Enterprise Initiative. They've got grants, in particular, push grants they're working on for entrepreneurs. So he's going to bring a wealth of information. And some of the other folks in the panel that I'm familiar with as well. Some of you might know Clarice. She's one of the choppers as well. So looking forward to that. Shout out to Dr. Eb G and her wonderful organization. It's called Lead On. And she's been putting together a series of these Facebook live streams that I think are very, very interesting. So I'm very proud to be a part of this and looking forward to it. Again, it gives me another opportunity to talk about CDM and to shout out the good people that I'm working with, all the great talented folks, and just, talk about the path, to this point. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, that's today at 6:30 p.m. And if you're around on Facebook, if you see it go up, hit us with a like and a share. And even better yet, stop in and maybe drop a question or comment, whatever you see fit. Whatever you see fit. Looking forward to it. I want to remind you, coming up later today, you've got Midday Juice with Ask Ashley. Again, Midday Juice with Ask Ashley coming up today. And she got a real interesting, you talk about juice. Woo. Get ready for it. You can follow her on Facebook. And if you want to watch the show today at 1 p.m. from our CDM page. Then, of course, tomorrow, the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B at 12:30 p.m. Make sure you don't miss that. Among other things, Donnie's going to be asking a question that a lot of people have right now. And that is, can your employer force you to take the vaccine? Do you have any legal recourse? Among other things. So check that out tomorrow. And of course, I'll be with you tomorrow morning as well. All right. So you're going to start to see some different elements into the show starting tomorrow. You're going to hear some different elements with the show. I mean, listen, as we go into 2021, we want to step things up a bit. So tell me what you think. But again, the next stop, of course, will be Midday Juice today at 1 p.m. Midday Juice would Ask Ashley. You ask the questions and she gives you an answer. Today's question is from a man who's dealing with a very serious issue with his wife. This is like a married couple question. And I don't want to spoil it, but just say that the fate of their relationship is hanging in the balance. And as always, she enjoys and welcomes you to chime in with your own advice as well. And it's a lot of fun, but you can also get something out of it. All right. If you ever have a question about life, love, whatever, you can always hit Ashley up and get an objective viewpoint. See, sometimes we ask questions to people close to us, but it's so close to us that we don't get objective answers. They don't give it to us real all the time. She'll give it to you real. And it'll be very entertaining as well. So again, that's come up today at 1 p.m. Make sure you check that out. Speaking of CDM, I got to shout out all the CDM people. I saw that Joe Mallory, it's official. He is now the new president of the Cincinnati NAACP. He says that the Cincinnati NAACP's number one issue is social justice. I'll say it again. I have great respect for the people of the Cincinnati NAACP. I know I've heard all kind of critiques or whatever, but from what I see, these people are very serious and they do so much stuff that goes under the radar screen. CDM is very proud to host and produce their podcast. You can watch that on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. And the Cincinnati NAACP is in good hands in the near future with Joe and T at the leadership position. So looking forward to that. Check out. I thought it was a great write-up with Joe and the Cincinnati NAACP. They do great work. It's the reason why I rock with them for the city of Cincinnati. For POC in Cincinnati and beyond. All right, so I'll leave you like that. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I wish you the absolute best. Make Thursday the best Thursday you can possibly make it. I'll be back with you again. I'll be back with you this evening at 7:30 p.m. for the Audacity to Own. This entire virtual live stream is going to be about Black entrepreneurship. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be talking about the Nathan Ivey Show, talking about media, talking about CDM. Got a great panel there as well. And you can chime in and share your questions and your comments today on Facebook. And that'll be on Lead On's Facebook page. Lead On. That's a business actually that's owned by a Black female. And they do a lot of good work around diversity, inclusion, cultural awareness. All right. So thank you so much in advance for being here. I really appreciate you. If you want to connect with me, my link tree is in today's description. There's also a link to today's sponsor, IMGBAT, Black-owned fine jewelry. They're based in the city of Cincinnati. They have an online store. As we're getting ready for Christmas, perhaps you still have some gifts to get. Hey, check them out. And even beyond that, maybe there's some gifts beyond Christmas that you're interested in. Maybe you got a birthday or... Hey, fellas, make sure you might just want to do something nice for the woman in your life. Or ladies, you might want to do something nice for the man in your life. Could be. Could be you want to do something nice for a family member. You can get one-of-a-kind fine jewelry at IMG BAT. And if you put Nathan Ivey Show in the coupon code, then you'll get 10% off. To my patrons, I've got a code for you I'll share with you shortly after the show where you can get 15% off of any of your purchases up to $25 through the end of the year. All right. So again, have an excellent rest of your day, family. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Personal, I ain't lying, I ain't hiding, I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. Hey. Taking just so deep and live my life. Don't take it personal. We just building. It's my season, lay foundation. Make a name for generations, please, and make a, then take a break or a little vacation and chasing blues away. Hey, hey. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning, or look like you always be working, soaking the moments you live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. I'm in a place.
The Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curbing all my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving.